What is going on, everybody? My name is Michael Levan, and I'd like to welcome you to Conf42 DevOps 2026. So, in this session, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about all things cost around LLMs, around AI in general, and all the traffic that you may be sending from an agent to an LLM, or an agent to an MCP server, or an agent to another agent. We're going to see how we can not only route all that traffic through an AI gateway using Agent Gateway, but we're actually going to see the cost, the breakdown, what model is used, and everything from a metrics perspective within Grafana. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure we have Agent Gateway installed, which I already did. I can go ahead, run this command, and then we can see that output here. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to figure out what LLM provider we want to use to route traffic to, right? Again, whether it's via an agent, whether we're just going directly through the gateway, however we want to do it, we need an LLM provider. So in this case, I'm going to use Anthropic just because that's where I have a subscription, but any LLM provider will work just fine in this case. Now, I've already set my Anthropic key, so what I can do is I can create a Kubernetes secret that's pointing to the Anthropic API key. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 gateways. And it doesn't matter if you create 1 or 2 or 10 or 20, it doesn't matter. I'm just using 3 because I feel like it's a good number to showcase all of the cost and how we can put it all together. But again, if you're using 1, 20, doesn't matter. All right. So to break this down, I'm going to create a gateway object. And this is, of course, coming from the Kubernetes Gateway API CRDs. All right. And I'm going to name it Agent Gateway 1. And then I'm going to have 3 gateways. So there's going to be Agent Gateway 1, 2, and 3. All right. I'm going to use the Agent Gateway class. And then I'm just going to allow traffic from all namespaces for testing purposes. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to create an Agent Gateway backend. And this backend is how the gateway itself knows what to route to. So in this case, I'm routing to a Claude model, but I could also be routing to an MCP server, for example. All right. And then last but certainly not least is the HTTP route. That way we have an endpoint that we can actually route to. All right. And as you can see here, I'm referencing the gateway, and then I'm referencing the Agent Gateway backend. Now, the other thing that I'm doing is I'm replacing the /v1/chat/completions path with /Anthropic. Why? Just because /Anthropic is a lot easier to type than /v1/chat/completions. Okay. Now, one thing I will say is if you're wondering, hey, Mike, I thought you were routing to Claude, so shouldn't it be /v1/messages? This path here would be considered part of the OpenAI API format spec, which Claude supports. So it's totally fine. This will work as expected. That way we can route to it, and we can even curl it to see that it works. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create this gateway here. All right. And then I'm going to create the gateway for the second gateway and the third gateway. And again, it's literally the same configuration pointing to the same LLM, all that. I'm just using 3 gateways so we can see the cost breakdown and how the cost can come together. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to send some traffic to our gateways, and we want to see that they actually work as expected. All right. So I'm going to export the IP addresses and put them into environment variables of all of the ALB IPs for the gateways. All right. So we have Agent Gateway 1, Agent Gateway 2, and Agent Gateway 3. All right. And we can see those 3 IP addresses pop up there. Again, those are the ALB public IPs for the gateway. All right. So now let's actually test the gateway configuration here. All right. And what we'll do is we will curl each ingress gateway. That way we can also send some traffic to it as well. Right. So I'm going to curl the first one here. Then I'll go ahead and curl the second one. All right. And then I'll go ahead and curl the third one. And this will allow us to actually generate some metrics, right? So like when we curl to the gateways, we can generate metrics. That way we can actually see those metrics within the Grafana dashboard. All right, now the next piece of the puzzle is to install Prometheus. And if you're not familiar with Prometheus, it's a pretty cool project. It's, as the name sounds like, Prometheus and Grafana. But the cool thing is you get a lot of dashboards out of the box for Kubernetes, whereas if you were just installing Grafana and Prometheus, you wouldn't have any dashboard. So I do like typically to install Prometheus. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to install it on my cluster. And now that it's installed, what I'm going to do is I have two new terminals open here. I'm going to go ahead and port forward to Prometheus. And then I am also going to port forward to Grafana, right? And then what we can do is we can open up Grafana. That way we can just get logged in, right? And then admin, and we just got to pull the secret here. So I'm going to go ahead, run this command to get the secret, right? Copy that, paste this in. Okay, cool. So now we are in Grafana. Let me zoom in a little bit. And if I go to the dashboards here, we can see all the dashboards that are already available out of the box. But we're going to need to do two things. We're going to have to set up some monitors, and then we're going to have to set up our dashboard. Okay. So as you can see here, I have a couple of different monitors, and they are all the pod monitors for the gateways that we deployed. Okay. So as you can see, the name is Agent Gateway 1 pod monitor, right? And then you can see that it's listening for Agent Gateway 1, and that's our gateway that was deployed, right? So if I run kubectl get gateway, name Agent Gateway system, right? We can see Agent Gateway 1, 2, and 3. I actually have to do a quick update here, and that's because we used to deploy to K-Gateway system. Now we deploy to Agent Gateway system. And then you can see that it's listening on /metrics, and it's pulling the metrics every 30 seconds. And then again, we do this for Agent Gateway 1, Agent Gateway 2, and Agent Gateway 3. All right, so I'm going to run kubectl apply -f, Agent Gateway OSSKS, cost, and monitoring. All right, so those are deployed here. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and send a little bit more traffic through my gateways. All right, some traffic is sent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Grafana, and I'm going to implement this dashboard that I created. And this is a custom dashboard for all the costs and the metrics and such. But if you want, you just need to go to my GitHub, go to this path here, and then you can import the dashboard yourself as well if you'd like to use it in your own environment. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to Grafana. I'm going to say new import. New import. Okay. And then I'm going to specify my path to my dashboard. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to say import, and we can now officially see the cost per gateway and for all of our gateways together. And luckily, I haven't spent too much money, so I am still in budget. And if you want, what you can do is you can actually go to Prometheus as well. And if you type Agent Gateway, you'll see all the different metrics available. So if I wanted to see token usage, for example, I can see token usage based on what gateway I sent the request to, the model, and where it originated from. And that's how you can begin to track your costs for any agentic traffic using Agent Gateway. Thank you so much for watching.